Hello, welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Aron. I'm a certified Warriors at Ease yoga teacher, and this is our all levels yoga class for Monday morning. And it's designed to help you build strength and also welcome a sense of ease. And we're actually going to focus on our shoulders and our neck today because I feel like we hold a lot of tension there. At least I do. So if you also do, this might be a good way to let some of that tension go and to also learn how to use this whole group of muscles in a way where we can build strength and avoid injury. So we'll start in an easy seated posture. Whatever that means for you, you can make any adjustments here that you want to make so that you can feel supported and at ease. We'll take just a few moments to settle into our practice. Let our attention and focus come into this moment. Letting go of any worries about the past or the future. See if we can focus on right now, using all of our senses. You can notice what you see and hear, smell and taste. Notice what you physically feel right now. Maybe you notice the surface below you. Maybe you sense the air, your clothing where it's touching your skin. And letting that awareness come a little deeper into sensing the body itself. Noticing all the muscles and bones, joints, organs. Noticing that the body is breathing. You don't need to change anything, simply being aware of the rise and fall of the chest and belly. Be noticing the air as it moves past your nostrils or your lips, past your throat. Perhaps taking a moment here as we're getting centered to welcome in any intention, any focus that you have for your practice today. If you are joining me with that intention of letting go of tension, from worry, join me for that. And then we'll take a deep breath. Fill the lungs up from the bottom to the top, front to back, side to side. Lungs are full of air and we'll let that go with a sigh. All right. And then we'll start to add a little bit of movement. So let's start seeing if we can explore the sensations in our neck. Maybe let the right ear fall over towards the right shoulder and simply notice what you sense on the left side of your neck. And if you feel like you're pulling down so much that it's painful, back off a little bit. Nothing we should do or nothing we do in our practice should be painful. There are times we might feel challenged, but not pain. So if you feel those painful sensations, that's your body sending a message to back off a little. Maybe try something else. There's lots of ways to modify. And then let's try this to the other side. So maybe exhale, let the chin fall down towards the chest. And then inhale, let's take the left ear towards the left shoulder. Really gentle here. Simply exploring what you notice on the opposite side of the neck, on the right side of the neck. You might even feel that going down into the shoulder or up the back of the head. There's lots of connections there with those muscles. And then exhale, let's bring chin back to chest. And let's go back to right ear, right shoulder. And you can stay here just like before. You don't need to change anything. But you can explore this a little bit more, maybe tilting the chin down towards your lap, or maybe tilting the chin up towards the sky. And you can do that as a movement, maybe moving from one to the other, or as you're moving, if you find one place in particular you feel like you're getting a particularly nice opening or good sensation, you can stay there, take a couple breaths. And then let's exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder, same thing. You can stay in stillness, or if you want to explore this, you can. And then if there's one place that feels like you want to spend some time there, you're welcome to do that. And you may even be aware that this side feels different than the other, so there might be a little bit different angle to get a sense that you're opening or releasing. And then let's exhale, let the chin come to chest, and then inhale, lift our gaze up so we're looking right out in front. We don't want to have the head tilted back like we're looking up, but can we look straight forward so the back of the neck is long? And then we're going to start exploring some movement in the shoulders. So as we inhale, let's bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, draw the shoulder blades together like you're trying to squeeze a quarter between them. And then exhale, let them slide down the back. So we'll do that movement a few times, inhaling up, back, and down. And you can leave the hands at your sides. Some people like to put hands on the elbows and do this by making hands on the shoulders and making circles with the elbows. So you can try that option. And again, you can even extend the arms all the way out and make circles with the fingertips. So there's lots of different things you can try here. If you're like me, I get some snap, crackle, pop in there. That's fine as long as it's not painful. And then we can take that in the other direction. So going down, back, up and around. And again, any of those options for the arms. You can do all of them like I did just to get a sense of what they feel like, or you can go just to one and do that multiple times. And next exhale, let's release. Shake that out a little. And we're going to come out of our seated posture and over onto our hands and knees. If you want to take a moment to take a break here and let the knees be wide and the big toes together, you can let the hips drop to the heels, and you can round down into a child's posture, a child's pose. You can even support the head on a block or on your forearms or fists. And if you find this restful, you can come back to it anytime you want to take a rest, or catch your breath, or get refocused. Or if there's another posture that feels restful to you, you can use that anytime you want. And then we'll go ahead and come up onto our hands and knees. So bringing the wrists right under where the shoulders are, fingertips spread wide. Let's step the knees back and a little closer together so they're right underneath the hips. And that way we can make a long line from our tailbone to the top of the head. We're looking right down between those fingertips. And our arms are strong. So we're pressing into the fingertips and the thumb so that the arms are lengthened, so that we can lift the chest so that we're not sinking down. All right. And we're also going to use some muscles here around our core, around the trunk of our body, to keep the spine long and to stay lifted. So let's take a moment here and simply feel that. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're going to do a really small movement. It's not going to be a big movement. We're going to see if we can focus on our shoulder blades for a moment. So we're going to really push into the fingertips and the thumb and round just in the upper back, letting the shoulder blades draw away from each other. So we're not rounding the back up like we do in cat. We'll do that in a little bit. We're just rounding the top part of the shoulder so the shoulder blades draw away. And then we're going to reverse that. We're going to let the shoulder blades come in towards each other. And now we are going to let our chest sink a little bit between our hands, but the arms stay strong. So we're not bending the elbows to do this. That movement is coming from that articulation of our shoulder blades. Let's do that again. Inhale, push the earth away. Let those shoulder blades draw away from each other. And then exhale, let the chest sink between the arms, draw the shoulder blades together. It's almost like they're closing like elevator doors. And then inhale, push away. They're opening up away like elevator doors opening. And then exhale, let's let them pinch together one more time. And then let's come back to that tabletop neutral. We're right between there. So we're not extended and we're not drawing them together. They're sort of partway between. And now we will do that cat-cow flow that we're a little more familiar with. We'll inhale, lift the tailbone, let the belly soften, lift the chest, the back is arching. So now this movement's coming from our spine. Exhale, rounding in the shoulders, doming up the back, tucking the tailbone, looking back at the thighs. So now all those bones of our spine, all our vertebrae, they're all articulating with each other. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Getting everything warmed up. Maybe one more time through. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then let's come back to that tabletop. We're going to keep our hips over our knee. We're not going to drop them back towards our heels like we do for child's pose. We're going to keep them right over the knees. And then we will walk the hands forward. And this is similar to child's pose, but the hips stay high. And then we bring the forehead down towards the mat. If it doesn't get all the way there, that's fine. Again, you could use a block there if you wanted, or a pillow. And let's stretch the fingertips to the front of the mat and keep the arms lifted. So the elbows aren't coming down. The elbows are lifted so the arms are still strong. And then let's imagine we're bringing the chest as close to the mat as we can and still be able to breathe, still avoid any pain. Just getting a little more movement in that spine. Hips are high, chest comes towards the earth. And then let's take one more breath. Some people call this falling leaf, some call it puppy pose. And then let's look up. Drop the forearms down and shift the hips forward so that the hip bones come to rest on the mat and we're lifting the chest. Tops of our feet are resting on the mat, toenails down, and we're lifting up like we're a sphinx. So this is a sphinx posture. You can even press down into the fingertips and the forearms and the elbows, and then imagine you're trying to pull those arms back towards your hip bones. But instead of the arms moving, what's going to happen is we're going to lift a little more in the chest, get a little more of a stretch. All right, let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to push back, lift the hips up, push our hips over the knees, lift our arms back up. And let's slide our hands back towards tabletop, but not quite all the way back. We're going to keep the wrists a little bit in front of the shoulders. Keep the fingertips spread wide. Press into the fingertips and the thumb, and let's tuck our toes under so that we can use them to draw our navel in and lift our knees just a few inches. Knees are bent. Let's push the mat away, lift the hips again. So this is similar to our puppy pose. Our hips are high, our shoulders, our arms are lifting basically over our shoulders so that our chest is coming towards our thighs. And then we can start to bring our heels a little closer to the mat. Let's see if you can keep the spine long. And then let's bend the knees even more. Look up at our fingertips and step the hands and feet together. Feet can come a little bit out towards the edges of the mat. We're coming into a forward fold with soft bent knees. Hands can stay on the mat. Or again, there's lots of options. You could use something like a block to lift them up a little higher, or the front of your legs. If you start to feel dizzy at all, you can slide your hands above your knees, drop your hips a little. You still let the back round, but you bring the head above the heart. Another option here, some people like to let gravity help a little bit. You can grab the elbows and let gravity help you hang down. And let's notice what we feel here, maybe in the back of the legs, the back of the seat, the low back. See if we can get a little release here. If you want, you can bend one knee and then the other. And let's also think about those neck and shoulders again. Maybe shake the head yes or shake the head no. See if we can get some release there. Let those muscles be at ease. Let the top of the head hang heavy. And then if we've got a little bit of movement, let's come back to being still. Bring the hands right to the hip creases, right where the legs meet the torso. Bend the knees, lower the hips, shift our weight to our heels, press into the heels to activate the thighs and come up to standing. And then we'll shake that out. And then we're going to do some work where we're standing here. And we're going to think about our shoulders again. So let's come into a mountain posture. Bring our feet back to hips distance. Toes are pointing forward. Feeling strong in the legs as we press our feet down. Feeling strong all along the body so that the spine is long to the top of the head. Still being at ease. Soft forehead, soft jaw. Shoulders dropping from the ears. Arms at ease at our sides. Open chest, soft shoulder blades drifting down the back, rotating in the upper arms so the palms of the hands face forward will help you do that. And also being soft in the knees. So the legs are strong, but they're not locked out. Let's take a breath here. And then let's reach our fingertips out to the sides. Stretching fingertip to fingertip, wrist, elbow, and shoulder aligned. And just take a moment here to notice how this feels. Which muscles are you using to stay in this extension? What do you feel in the body? Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel ease to extend out like this? And then we're going to see what happens if we just change the way that we come into this and how we experience this. So this is my unofficial cactus practice. So we're going to bend the elbows so the fingertips face forward. And see if you can keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, maybe even just a little higher. See if you can avoid letting them drop below the shoulders if that's possible. So the elbows are bent at 90 degrees, the fingertips are facing forward. And then once you feel like you have that, we're going to rotate through the shoulders so the fingertips point up. So we're still in those. Now we have these cactus arms. Right now our palms are facing forward. Check with those elbows if they've started to drop down. See if you can bring them in line with the shoulders. And then we're going to turn the palms, keeping the arms like this, turn the palms towards our ears and rotate as much as you're able. The pinky fingers may even get a little closer together than the thumbs are. And here you may start to feel your biceps engaging. So we're getting a little bit of a flex there. And let's hold on to that sensation, and then we're going to rotate the palms the other way. So rotating so the palms face away from your ears, and now you may feel the triceps engaging a little, and you may feel the shoulder blades shift a little bit. Maybe they're sliding down the back just a little bit more. Keep those elbows high, don't let them drop. And then we're going to extend our fingertips back out long, and let's notice what we're engaging. Does that feel a little different than the first time we extended? All right, take another breath here. Keep breathing. If you start to notice that those tops of the shoulders start to make their way up to your ears, turn your palms back to the sky. Let the elbows bend a little, drop down, and then let the shoulders drop down with them. So we're making sort of a lazy W. And then keeping the shoulders down, let's extend back out and see if you can find that same sensation that we worked on. The biceps and the triceps are doing some work here. Shoulder blades are sliding down the back. The chest is open. And if you're like me, I can really feel that. Let's give that a little break and shake it out. And then we're going to see if we can remember that sensation and incorporate it into our Warrior Two stance. So let's take our feet a little wider, actually quite a bit wider. So wide that when your arms are extended, that the ankles are right below the wrists and the toes are pointing forward. If you haven't already lifted your arms up, let's go ahead and lift them up and see if you can find that same sensation we just worked on. And again, if you need to take a break or drop those shoulders down, you can come into that lazy W and then extend them back out. And then let's turn the right toes to the right. Line that right heel up with the instep of the left foot. That's going to help you stay balanced. Let's bend that right leg, keeping this knee aligned, either right on top of the ankle or maybe slightly behind. If it's out in front, maybe back off a little bit, or maybe take a bigger step so you have more room to come into that. And then make sure it's also aligned from front to back. So if it starts to drift in towards the front, see if you can draw it back in line with that second and third toe instead of being past the big toe. And then we can look over the right shoulder. Again, checking in with how you're doing this. If the tops of your shoulders are doing all the work, come into that lazy W and then extend back out. One more breath here. And then let's straighten the right knee. Drop the arms down. Oh, that feels good. And let's slide right hand down, right leg. We're coming into triangle. The chest still faces the front. We're not going to round forward at this time. That's a different posture. And if you want, you can lift the left hand up, or you can keep it at your side. Let's take a couple breaths here. And then inhale, cartwheel back up. And we'll turn the right toes back to the front. And we'll do that same sequence on the other side. Left foot points out to the left. Bend the left knee. Check that alignment of the knee. Front to back and side to side. Make sure it stays aligned. And then don't forget those arms. They're extended out fingertip to fingertip. If the shoulders have decided to do all the work, let's drop them down. Come back in. Can you find that same sensation we worked on during that cactus practice? And then look out over our left shoulder. Take a couple breaths. And then let's straighten the left leg, drop the arms, slide into our triangle on the side. Left arm down the left leg. You can reach the right arm up if you want, or you can keep it at your side. Either way is fine. Don't forget to breathe here. And then inhale. Let's come back up. Drop the arms. And let's bring the feet in just a little bit. Not quite back to hips distance, but not quite as wide as we just had it. Kind of heel toe the feet in. And we'll be in a wide leg stance. Maybe heels a little wider than the shoulders, toes a little wider than the heels. And let's lift our arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, biceps by the ears, and exhale into a side bend. You might feel that along the intercostal muscles of the ribs. You might even feel that in the shoulder and the shoulder blades. You might feel it someplace else. That's where I feel it. But all our bodies are different. So you may feel it someplace different. Inhale, let's come back up. Exhale, other side. Noticing what you're sensing here. Inhale, center. Exhale, let's release the arms. Hinge through the hips to dive forward into a forward fold. Soft knees. Hands come down to the mat. Let's bend the knees and step back. You can come into a child's pose again for a moment. Take a little break. See how you feel. We're done with all our standing postures. We're going to do a little work here on the mat, and then we'll be ready to rest. So one more breath, and then let's come back up. And you can do this next bit. We're going to just do something. I'm going to do another little pre-practice before we incorporate this in. So you can do this kneeling down like this or standing on your knees. If you need to put extra cushion under your knees, go ahead. But we're going to focus on imagining that we're coming into a plank. So reaching arms out in front, elbows and wrists in line with your shoulders, and then flexing the hands, the palms face forward. So it's like we're in a push-up position, a plank. And then we're going to imagine that we're lowering down onto the mat from our plank by drawing our hands back and bringing the elbows down. I just want you to notice where your hands end up, where you feel this engagement. And a lot of times what happens is our hands end up being like way down here or way up here, and the elbows come out to the sides as we lower down. And that can put a lot of strain on our shoulders and possibly set us up for injuring ourselves, which we don't want to do. We want to get stronger, not hurt. So let's see if we can think of a way to do that without injury. So let's extend back out again, flex the hands. And this time as you lower down, I want you to think about hugging the elbows down towards the waist. So right now, the creases of the elbow, the belly of your arm is rotated up towards the sky. It's going to help you with that. So that as you come down, the elbows, instead of drawing them back towards your chest, you're drawing them down towards the waist. And then the hands end up right next to the chest. And that might feel a little bit of a shift. Again, you might feel those shoulder blades coming down the back and pinching together like there's a quarter back there. And that's going to be a better angle for the shoulders as we move in and out of the plank. So let's put that into practice. Let's come down onto the mat and lay down all the way on the mat on our belly, and we'll bring our hands right to that spot, right next to our chest, and hug the elbows in. And when we come up this first time, let's go ahead and do this from our knees. So we're going to keep our knees on the mat, and we're going to keep a straight line from our knees to our hips to our shoulders, and we're going to push the earth away and come up into that plank posture. And if you feel the arms rotate so that the creases of the elbows face each other, see if you can rotate them back to the front. And then keeping that firmness in the core, we're using our core here too. We're going to hug the elbows down towards the waist and bring the chest down towards the mat. If you don't come down all the way, that's fine. Come down as far as you can with control. And then we can do that one more time together. You can either stay on your knees, or if you're able to keep a straight line in your body from doing this from your toes, go ahead and tuck your toes under, and let's inhale, push away. We end up with the shoulders right over the wrist. The belly of the arms are forward. Our core is strong. You're already building strength here. Do you feel this? And then exhale, let's hug the elbows back to the waist. Chest down towards the mat. Let the tops of the toes rest on the mat. Press the toenails into the mat so that the legs are strong, the knees start to lift. And let's draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chest. Little cobra here. And exhale, release. And let's push ourselves up and back and come back into a seated posture. We're going to do a little twist here and another shoulder stretch, and then we'll get ready to rest. So inhale, let's reach the arms up, and exhale, let's twist. You can use your left hand on the outside of the left knee, right hand can come behind you, and let's tilt the chin down and maybe rotate to look over that right shoulder. Only if that works for your neck. And then inhale, let's come back to center, and then exhale, and then we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. Let's bend the right elbow and reach down like we're trying to reach our hand down in between our shoulder blades, and then use our left hand to guide that a little deeper. Shoulder stretch here. See if you can keep your gaze forward. There's a tendency to round the back and look down. See if you can keep the spine long and your gaze forward. One more breath here. Let's release. And we're going to switch sides. So whichever way you have your legs, bring the other leg in front or on top. And then let's do the same thing here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let's twist. Inhale back to center. And then we'll bend the left elbow and use the right hand to deepen that stretch. And then let's release and shake that out. Oh, I got a good pop there. And we're about ready to rest. So let's come around onto our back. If you want to do any other movement or any other shapes here with your body, maybe give yourself a hug so that you're ready to rest. You're welcome to do that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and find a posture where you can get a little rest for a few minutes. If you want to use any pillows or towels or blankets or anything like that so that you can feel supported and at ease, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to sit up so that I can close out my portion of the practice with you, but you're welcome to rest here as long as you'd like. If you were controlling your breath while we did our physical practice, you can let that release. Let your body come back to breathing its natural rhythm. You can let your eyes soften. You can even close them if you want. You're ready to come back into your day. Give yourself a few moments to reflect on your practice and notice how you feel. Give yourself some gratitude for taking time for your health and wellness. I thank you for sharing your practice with me and for joining us for Operation Remote Resilience. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. It will be available to the public shortly on the 4 Years at Ease YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our practices. And if you get a chance, please visit the link in the description below and consider making a donation so that we can continue to make these practices free for all. It's viewers like you that make it possible for teachers like me to provide these services. So this is Aron signing off in health, resilience, and connection. Thank you.